This is a mini macrame plant hanger. I've been making these for a few weeks now and I really enjoy it, and I think it might be something you would like too. So join me.
Liquid Amber Girl Gardening.
We're going to start with some thread. This is, let me get the package. I got it from Amazon, and actually I thought I was getting something much bigger. It came in all of these colors, and I think it's for making jewelry. But it came up when I was looking for macrame cord. This came up and the picture of it on Amazon, maybe I'll show you. It really didn't look like it was this small. I got these in the mail and I was like, wait a second, this is in miniature. But anyway, I do love the colors, and that was when I was inspired to make mini macrame. So it's really hard to tell because I have terrible lighting, but this is like a really deep violet color, really pretty. And so this is what we're going to use to make our mini macrame plant hanger. I'm going to use a ruler, and I'm going to measure out 8 pieces, 4 feet long each. Now we have 8 pieces, 4 feet long each, of these little purple threads. And I have a welded ring. I'm not sure what the measurement is, 1 inch. So this is a 1 inch welded ring. I have gotten them smaller, and those are really make it even cuter if you can find a smaller one. But they're not always easy to find. I had to go to a local hardware store and just dig through those drawers that they have to organize like the different bolts and screws and nails and stuff, and that was how I was able to find the welded rings that I have. So I don't know, maybe Lowe's or Home Depot has something like that. I didn't even try there. I tried to find it local. So you just get the ring right in the middle of the threads here, and then you make your first knot. So this is kind of macrame. It's kind of just macrame-ish because I'm not using, like when I do a full-size macrame, I use like the knots that they use, wrapping another piece of thread around all of them at the top to make your top. But I don't do that with this little mini stuff because as it is, it takes a while anyway. So if you can look, you can see that the knot is a little bit messy right now. And I am an OCD girl, so I go through and pull every thread. Sorry, I'm having trouble keeping you in frame here. Just like this. And make sure that I have the knot super tight and super tidy looking. So this is a job for a patient person. There it went. That got that thread that was kind of sticking out. Hi, Tilly. Hi, baby dog. I'll just keep doing this till I have pulled on each one of them to make sure I have a nice starting knot. So there it is. And we're going to move to a new location to get started. This is the door to our basement, and the reason we're here is because I need some place where I can hang my macrame, and this ring will fit right on this part of the chain lock. So that's where we're going to be, and Evie is going to take over filming for me because my tripod isn't tall enough. I'm a pretty tall girl, and the tripod isn't. I really need a new one. So here we go. All right, so the very first thing I do is we're going to be dividing so that we have 4 threads in a grouping. And you can just take 4 random threads, but I actually like to kind of divide them so that they're kind of all together up here in the knot, if you know what I mean. Like if I took some from over here, it just wouldn't be as neat looking. And of course, you always count, make sure you have all 4. So that's going to be a grouping of 4. This is going to be a grouping of 4. We'll get the others. So I'm just going to start by tying my first knot. And these are just literally just a regular loop and pull through kind of a knot. We don't have very good lighting, do we?
No.
It's terrible lighting, in fact. Shoot. I have to do something here.
It's okay.
Okay, so I already started, but we had to go get a light, and because lighting in here is clearly not ideal, but it's the location where I have something to hold my macrame by the O-ring, so we're gonna have to deal, and I'm sorry. But anyway, so I've made my first knot, and it's using 4 strands right there. And I'm going to get 4 more strands for my next knot. And then what I do to make sure they're lined up is I just use the first one. And it's not perfect, but it's close enough. And we're just going to keep repeating this process. Okay, so we have the first knots made in each grouping of 4 strings. So the reason I did do this is because I just found that it's easiest to see the color of the strings if you have 4 strings in each grouping. I've tried it with less, and it just, to me, doesn't look as good. And so I'm just going to continue doing that. I want to do 3 groupings of a grouping of 3 knots. Then I'll leave a little bit of space, and then 3 more knots lower on down. So I'm just going to keep on tying knots.
This is probably where you're going to speed up the video, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am. Here we have all 4 sections. Each grouping of 4 strings has 3 knots kind of right together. Can you see those? Mm-hmm. And then we're just going to take a bigger space, and then we'll do that again. Okay, so I've done 3 sections, 1, 2, 3, and each of the 3 sections has triple knots, if you can see that. I don't know how to make you best see that on each of the strands. So we have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to go down, and this is going to actually be the first knot of the section that will hold the plant or planter. So I'm going to go down a little bit longer than the distance that I've been going between the sections of 3, probably to about, I don't know, it's really just an eyeball thing because I just made this pattern up myself. So, and I've done several of these now. And just make your next knot. And again, because we have 4 strands of string, the knots can be a little bit messy unless you, and if you don't care, that's fine. I like to have them nice and tight and neat, so I go through and pull each individual strand from that grouping so that you have a nice, neat, tight knot. And again, just going with the next section. First knots here. We're going to go back to the top just for a second, and we're going to kind of find where each of these 4 strands kind of wants to go organically. So I mean, you could have them all twisted, but you see how they can look like, and they'll just naturally kind of want to go a certain direction. So I'm going to start with these 2 because at the top they want to be next to each other, and I'm going to take 2 strands from this grouping and 2 strands from this grouping, and I'm going to tie those 2 together. And this is what you'll have. So next, we pull in a 3rd set of 4, and again, we're breaking that into 2 strands from that and taking the 2 unused strands from the string next to it, and we're going to tie that knot. So these are the first 2 knots that I've tied, and they are now tying these 3 strands together. So I'm going to take these 2 strings that are left from this side and pull the last remaining original strand, and we're going to tie a knot there. So we are starting to have that cylinder shape, so it's going to be able to hold a pot. We do exactly the same thing on the next layer of knots. So again, you want to be checking that you have 2 that are next to each other, and I do. So I'm going to take 2 strands from it and 2 strands from this side, and make another knot. And go ahead and continue all the way around the circle. All right, we are, for all intents and purposes, almost completely finished. All the 3 knots have been tied, taking 2 strands from each side. So then you're just going to get all of them gathered, and this is just our finishing knot, which again, if you do macrame and you know how to use that extra piece of string and wrap it around, that looks really cute too, but it's just not necessary with these real thin threads. I've done it the other way too, and I just like to do this better. It looks just as nice and neat. And so you're just going to pull that knot, and I'm going to pull again every thread just to make sure the knot is tight. there it is. Now we just need to get a pot and show you what this looks like. This is a little, I think it's a 1.5 inch terracotta pot with a sweet little sedum in it. And here is our finished macrame. So I'm going to set it very gently down in. We moved to slightly better light, but now we're a little bit backlit, but oh well, we just can't win with lighting in this video. So I'm just setting him gently down in there. I don't want to knock any of his delicate little jelly bean leaves off. But you can see it makes that cute little diamond pattern. And this is really what these are for. What I had in my mind when I was kind of making them is to have just something sweet that you could hang in a window, just like this. Has that cute little O-ring. Just get something that you could hang it right there, and it's just a cute little thing. So thank you for watching. Oh, and hang on, I have a little announcement. All right, friends. The one reason I really wanted to share this, besides the fact that these are really cute and kind of addictive, once you start making them, then you start thinking, well, I could use this in a teal color and a gray color and a whatever. But for all of us who like to propagate our own succulents, this is a perfect size pot for those little propagations. You can see that little baby down in there that started. But anyway, I have a plan for these, and I'm going to be giving some away. But before you start commenting, asking for one, I've already chosen the people that I'm going to give them to. And it is going to be kind of a little surprise. So I want you please to watch for that video in like 2 days. I'll put that video up and explain exactly what it is that I wanted to do with these in the first place. So I really hope this was not frustrating for you, and I hope it was helpful. I know that the lighting and probably the sound and my hands getting in the way were all troublesome, but it was for a fun little cause, because these are really adorable and everybody should have some macrame in their lives. I really believe it. But anyway, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.